Hey, it's me, your boy Blue Getsuga, and today I'll be going over some of the new fossil cards. And I say new because obviously they're the newest fossil cards revealed so far, plus I'm late, as usual. Anyways, I'm not gonna review that one fusion, I guess the two fossil cards that were revealed before. Fossil Fusion and this thing. Because I don't feel like trying to find it. Who knows, I might actually do it. Anyways, first we have Weathering Soldier. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, or if this card is destroyed by battle, you can add from your deck to your graveyard either one Fossil Fusion, really great fusion spell, or one card that specifically lists Fossil Fusion in its text, except Weathering Soldier. A Weathering Soldier. Once per turn during your end phase, this card loses 600 attack. Completely disregard the second effect because that's pointless. Next we have Mesozoic Fossil Knight, Skull Knight, and it's a level 6 Earth Rock Fusion, 2400 attack, 1100 defense. Materials require one rock monster plus one level 5 or 6 monster. If this card attacks a defense position monster and inflict piercing damage, all the fusions have this effect. And next is when this attacking card destroys a monster by battle, you can activate this effect. This card can attack once again in a row. So this is not a hard once per turn, meaning that you could potentially attack all monsters your opponent controls with this effect. And the third effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one monster on the field, destroy that target. So even in the graveyard, it's not useless. So your opponent, if your opponent lets this stay on the field, you can potentially destroy all of their monsters. And if they send it to the graveyard, you could potentially destroy one of their monsters. So this is a really good card. Next we have Cenozoic Fossil Knight Skull Pawn. Level 4 Rock Fusion monster, 2000 attack, 800 defense. Material, one rock monster plus one level 4 or lower monster. That includes hand traps, except Nibiru, which is a rock monster. Anyways, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters each battle phase. Well, never mind, I guess this one doesn't have the piercing effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Time Stream from your deck to your hand. Time Stream being a really great card. And next we have the big boss monster of this deck. We have Paleozoic Fossil Dragon Yugioh. Must first be special summoned with Fossil Fusion. One rock monster plus one 7 or higher monster in your opponent's graveyard, meaning that you need Fossil Fusion to summon this. I mean, it already says that here, but yeah. If this card battles an opponent's monster, before damage calculation, you can switch the attack and defense of that monster until the end of the damage step. If this card attacks a defense position monster, piercing. Double any damage, which is really good because you could essentially do double piercing with this card. Double any battle damage that your opponent takes from battles involving their monster and this fusion summoned card. Keyword being fusion summoned, which is really, really good. And here we have the coolest looking of the fossil fusions. We have Cenozoic Fossil Dragon Skullgar. 2500 attack, 0 defense. Fusion material, 1 rock monster plus 1 level 4 or lower monster in your opponent's graveyard. Again, also including their hand traps that aren't Nibiru. If this card attacks a defense position monster, piercing. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone got that. You can banish this card from your graveyard and one Fossil Fusion from your deck to your hand. That's really great, not to mention Fossil Fusion gets itself back whenever a face-up fossil monster you control is destroyed. I'm not sure if it has to be a fossil. Anyways, next we have Time Stream. Target one fossil fusion monster you control. Tribute that monster, and if you do, special summon from your action deck one fossil fusion monster that is 2 levels higher than the tributed monster and the tributed monster's original level. This is treated as a fusion summon with fossil fusion. That's nice. During your opponent, I don't know why I can't read. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and one fossil fusion monster from your graveyard. Then target one fossil fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So it also special summons back your fossil fusions. Also, you gotta keep in mind that when you special summon, if you special summon this thing, you can't do the double battle damage because it has to be fusion summoned. Then we have Specimen Inspection, which is arguably a terrible card, but I'd recommend that you play it as a one of, at least until we get better cards. Reveal one fossil fusion in your hand. Send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, so that's like a -2. And declare one monster type and level, and if you do, your opponent sends one monster of the declared type and level from their hand or deck to the graveyard, if any. That is very flawed, and this could potentially just be an inherent -2 from right off the jump. Oh wait, that's my alarm. Anyways, yeah, this card is pretty bad. Not much to say about that one. And then next we have Miracle Rupture. Whoops. Send one level 4 or lower rock monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if Fossil Fusion is in your graveyard, draw one card. That's really great. I mean, it sucks that it's a hard once per turn, but yeah, it's really great. And these are the other two cards. I guess other two fossil cards. First, we have Fossil Fusion, the bread and butter of this deck. Fusion summon one fossil fusion monster from your action deck by banishing monsters from either graveyard as fusion material. So you can't fusion summon from the hand, which kind of sucks. Anyways, if you banished monsters from both graveyards with this effect, the special summoned monster cannot be targeted by monster effects. That's pretty cool. If a face-up fossil fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So you could potentially have multiple fossil fusions. And the first effect isn't a hard once per turn, so you can potentially stack up a bunch of fossil fusions in your hand and then fusion summon a bunch of fossil fusions. And lastly, which is not really lastly, we have Paleozoic Fossil Knight Skull King. Fusion material requires one rock monster plus one level 7 or higher monster, just like Skull Gaios. Can make second attack each battle phase. That's nice. The typical piercing damage. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Discard one card, and if you do, special summon that target to your field. This is an alright effect. It's basically like autonomous action unit, but I can't really say it's better or worse. But I like this effect. Also, the discard isn't cost, so that's nice. Anyway, so far I think this deck is pretty cool, and when I tried to build this deck on Dueling Book using custom cards, I saw that there was still one more, or at least a few more fossil cards to come out. Because I think there's 2 more fossil fusion monsters left, as well as another main deck monster. Anyways, I look forward to building this deck on Dueling Book. when all the cards are released, of course, which is starting to look a bit disheartening due to the evil swarm virus postponing everything. Anyways, that's all I have to say about these cards. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm Blue Getsuga, and I'm out.